classroom where all of the students are struggling to stay awake, unable to concentrate, and at risk for many health problems. All these factors, according to many research, has been linked to the non-nutritious foods that have been served in the cafeterias and vending machines and even the snack bars. As we face many rising rates of obesity and many health associated problems with conditions and unable to concentrate in many of the classrooms, studies have shown that this has been linked to many of the non-nutritious foods that have been found in many of the cafeterias. I want to start off by saying that I stand with banning with non-nutritious foods in the cafeterias, and this can help improve many of the academic performance, the health problems associated with many of the foods that are being served. I want to start off by saying one of the greatest risk factors that have been linked to many of the non-nutritious foods that kids eat today is obesity. Childhood obesity has been increased in the last couple of years. According to the CDC, obesity is defined as having a BMI greater than or equal to 95. About 1 in 5 children in the U.S. Each month alone are diagnosed with obesity, and obesity is more prevalent in adolescent Hispanic males, non-Hispanic Black children, and families of lower income. In 2017, March to March of 2020, about 19.7% or 14.7 million people, million youth, aged 2 to 19 years old were diagnosed with obesity. There are many contributing factors to the obesity crisis, but one of the major contributing factors is the unhealthy, high-calorie, low-nutrient foods that are seen in the cafeterias. According to the NIH, the consumption of ultra-processed foods found in the cafeteria and machines were linked to a higher risk of chronic disease such as obesity, cardiovascular disease, inflammatory bowel disease, and even cancer. When children have increased levels of sugar, it can lead to many health conditions like diabetes. Once you have diabetes, you can have high cholesterol. When you have high cholesterol, you're increased risk for heart attack. When you have a heart attack, you can have an increased risk for stroke. So those are just some of the factors that I wanted to point out with the crisis. There are many researches that I will be using, and research has shown that poor diet is not only linked to obesity, but other health conditions like diabetes, hypertension, and other heart disease. But it also can affect the student's academic and cognitive function throughout the school year. One of the studies I want to point out was done by the Institute for Brain and Rehabilitation Sciences, and it was a study done in 2023. A total of 68 children that were in kindergarten, aged 5 to 6 years old, were put in 2 different days. They ate one day unprocessed food, and then the other one they ate processed food. The day that they ate processed food, it was like a chocolate sandwich and other like snacks. And they were asked to solve a task involving memory, and then another task involved using concentration. When they ate the processed food, it took them about 125.69 seconds in solving the task that involved using memory. With the task that involved concentration, it took them 149.8 seconds. With the unprocessed food, it took them a total of 90.10 seconds to solve the task using memory, and the concentration, it took them 104.64 seconds. This resulted in a 30 to 40% decrease in the time they needed to complete these tests. Also, there was a 46.12 increase in children who ate unprocessed foods, which were following instructions, and a decreased negative behavior by 48.02%, which included like tantrums, disruptive behavior, and other disruptions that they found in other kids that were eating the processed food. Another resource that I want to point out is a book that is called The Truth About Food, that was written by Dr. Kotz. Many kids skip their breakfast and lunch, which is half of their meals during the school week, and removing processed foods from these type of foods that they eat will provide an optimal learning environment. Dr. Kotz is a internal medicine specialist and preventive medicine and public health. He obtained his degrees in the Yale University, where he got his master's in public health, and he attended Albert Einstein College of Medicine, where he did his residency. Dr. Kotz's book, The Truth About Food, dives into how nutrient-rich meals can support optimal brain function and better concentration, which in turn leads to better academic results. There are many products that are sold in schools that meet the nutritional requirements in school just because they decrease the sodium and cholesterol levels and the sugar in the product itself. But this is a regular bag of Cheetos that is sold in the stores, 140 calories per the package. But if you see here, the sodium is 230 milligrams, which is more than what we need daily for kids. And there's no dietary fibers. There's only 1 gram, which is very less than what we need. This other bag here is the bag that's sold usually in the school lunches, and it has reduced fat. And over here you see the nutritional value, 90 calories per bag, and it's said to have the same dietary fiber as the other one, and the sodium is 140 milligrams, which is not even less than the other one. There are many articles that I found that highlighted how the growing concern over the unhealthy foods available in schools has led to alarming increases in poor health outcomes, but the article in Scholastic News highlighted that in 2010, the warnings from the U.S. health experts led to Congress passing the Healthy Hungry Free Kids Act, which this law requires schools to have more fruits, vegetables, whole grains, and lean proteins like fish, chicken, and other lean meats, and serve foods with less sodium. Many schools argue that serving unprocessed foods will be highly costly for them, but many schools all over the U.S., according to the Healthier Generation, have successfully transitioned to healthier food options. Healthier Generation is a provided tool that is available to the people in the United States that have resources, tools, and valuable guidance to improve the nutritional quality of many schools. And in conclusion, we must take action and prioritize the well-being and academic future of students. By banning non-nutritious foods, we can ensure long-term health, mental clarity, and most importantly, academic achievement. It is time to stand up for students and ensure that the change we make will set them up for success in the future.